Hello everyone, Jason here, today with another episode. I'm going to stick to the theme of Pokemon, as continued in my last video, considering that it's the 25th anniversary of the series, and just the franchise in general. So I wanted to just kind of touch on a few of my favorite things over the years that I've collected and been holding on to, and still use and enjoy to this day. So I got all kinds of stuff around me here, and I'll just kind of start showing off a few. Basically, it's going to be an over-glorified show and tell. So the first thing I can think of is, you've probably seen it in my last video, but my 20th anniversary Pokemon 3DS. This is the new 3DS model, and I use it every now and again, mostly when the batteries die on my next one and my Zelda one, which is unrelated. But I use this one now a lot for my older DS games, and I use this one when I want to play Pokemon Red or Blue, or batteries die on something else. So there's those. This guy you also saw in my previous video. This is the 20th anniversary Pokemon Yellow Special Edition, and this is a Japanese and European exclusive. I made a mistake in my last video, and I said it was a Japanese only, so I didn't want you guys to think I was a liar. Japan and European exclusive, but mine is strictly Japanese, so that is that one. Okay, so on the topic of Pokemon consoles, I wanted to go into games next, but first, this is probably, it's miniature and it's tiny in my collection, but it's probably one of the most sentimental pieces in my collection. My mom had to beg and plead with GameStop employees at numerous stores to get this for me when we pre-ordered my games, and I still have it to this day, and it's like my favorite stylus ever. So something little, but it's a Dialga stylus. I don't know if you guys have them, but they were super common back in the day, and luckily I have one still. So there's that. So for me, as a gamer and more so a Pokemon nerd, the collection is the biggest piece for me. So I am a completionist when it comes to my game collection, and I'm missing maybe 2 or 3 games in the series in its entirety. Pokemon Crystal, I don't have the physical cartridge, but I am playing that through Virtual Console on my 3DS consoles. And then there's a couple of Mystery Dungeon games, and there might be another one mixed in there somewhere. But for the most part, I have majority of them. So now, in this part of the video, I will show you some of the games in my collection and highlight some of my favorites in the series. So starting off with the original Game Boy. My favorite in the original Game Boy series is Pokemon Yellow. So I played this game to death, to the point where literally the plastic cracked down the middle and half of the front came off of my game. This is a copy I rebought some years later, and I played this game every now and again, but more so I try and keep it preserved and try and save that save battery, because it is the original save battery. And yes, it still works after 20 some odd years, so pretty cool. But then I also have Red and Blue. I want to say both of these save batteries have now died, so these games no longer hold saves. Once I get the right batteries, I will hopefully have a chance to replace those, and I will do replacement of the batteries in a video later on my channel. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and that will come within the coming months when I can find the right battery for those guys. I also have, and this is Pokemon Green. So this is a English copy of the game, and I play it every now and again, but more so it's just to have the completion set for those guys there. I also have, for the original Game Boy, the Pokemon Pinball and Pokemon Trading Card games. So both of those guys, I haven't played these games in years, but there's those. And then also, last but not least, my original copy of Pokemon Gold. This is my oldest game in my entire game collection that I still have to this day, as well as Pokemon Silver. So also those have dead save batteries and can't replace those, so there's those guys. So those are my Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. Next, I'm going to move into my Game Boy Advance collection. So the Game Boy Advance is where I really got into Pokemon, and I have every Pokemon Game Boy Advance game as well. I'm only just going to show you a few of them, because these are the ones I still have boxes for. So I bought both Emerald and Leaf Green when I was a teenager. I saved up my allowance, and when these guys were cheap enough, I went to Target, and I want to say I paid about 20 bucks each. I still have the boxes for them, and I also have the wireless adapters for Game Boy Advance for those guys, as well as my Fire Red. So this one came way later. I bought it at, I think, a Dimple Records, like local record store, and they had this there for like 10 or 15 bucks, so I picked that one up. I also have Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, which you saw as well in my last video. This is by far my favorite game in the series. So, same game basically, but the difference is the Pokemon that you encounter, and some of the events in the game are slightly different between which version you picked up. So Diamond was my all-time favorite. Pearl, I just recently started a new game on that one as well, and I am currently playing through Platinum also. So I have the special edition of Pokemon Sword and Shield, and in this copy, if I can open it real quick, I will show you the steelbook of this game. So this is the best way to showcase both games. And then, of course, I have the regular cases in there as well. So it's a 3-case box set. I also have the Let's Go series. As Yellow is my all-time favorite Game Boy Color game, I rebought both of these as well. The version with the Pokewalker. So, those guys as well. As well as the remake and remaster of Pokken Tournament and Mystery Dungeon as well. So these are both re-releases. The Pokken Tournament game came out on the Wii U some years ago, and Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team was originally known as Red and Blue Rescue Teams and came out on the Game Boy and the Nintendo DS. So some cool remasters and fun games to pick up there. So here are a few of my favorite books in my collection. I have probably a good 70 different Pokemon books between graphic novels, comic books, strategy guides, the whole nine. But this is one of my oldest. This is the Electric Tale of Pikachu. And this came out in the late 90s, and it is by Toshihiro Ono. And his art style for the Pokemon books was absolutely incredible. I have the entire series, and I've read through them numerous times. And the best part about it, too, is just the art style. Looking through some of these posters, and just the beautiful colors and illustration story, it was amazing as a kid. Another one that I loved, and I'm currently rereading, is the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Gingy's Rescue Team. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is a spin-off series from the main series, if you're not familiar, and you get to play as a Pokemon. So this story takes place where this young boy named Gingy is transformed into a Torchic and has to befriend Pokemon, and him and his rescue team save the day, basically. So really fun, really cute, and it's something you can pick up for pretty cheap if you're interested. And then also, just the first issue of Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. This one was a continuing series, and I only have the first 2 volumes, but I just wanted to show that because for me, Emerald being my favorite game, I love the Pokemon in Gen 3, and so just a fun one to showcase. So another thing that I will continue to talk about as the channel progresses are my Pokemon card collection themselves. I have probably a couple thousand cards in total, so it's kind of hard to show them all at once, but this is my big collection box here, which contains a few of my decks that when I used to play, I would play with, and just for collection purposes, as well as some of my legendary cards and just some of the special ones that I've collected over the years. So just to show you guys a few of them. I mean, we could literally sit here all day, and we may do a video of that where I just showcase some of my cards and literally just sit there. But just to give you guys an idea, there are tons of cool cards here. And these cards have been with me since I was a little boy, and this collection has matured just like I have. And it's cool to look back now, 25 years later, and still have my Pokemon cards and be able to say that I do. And hopefully one day be able to pass those down through my family. So these are the special ones to me. And then I also have an original binder filled with all kinds of Pokemon cards. It's like so many. Again, we'll go through those later, so stay tuned for that as well. Just a couple more things here before we wrap this video up for the day. I wanted to go through a few of my stuffed animals too, the plushies, as they're called, with loyalists and anime otaku kids everywhere. This is a I want to say hand knitted, shiny Chimecho. So Chimecho is my all-time favorite Pokemon, just for his story and the story that they portrayed with James from Team Rocket. And I can relate a lot to James in his story and just feeling alone as a child. And so naturally I latched on to Chimecho, and he has followed me since then. So I bought this one off of somebody that handmade it and was selling it at a anime convention here in Sacramento some years back, and so that's this guy. And then also just a little one. This is an official Pokemon Chimecho, little stuffed animal, as well as his pre-evolution Chingling. So just wanted to showcase those guys. I have, again, probably, I'd have to say like 50 or 60 different plush of Pokemon, but these are the three that I have easily accessible because they're the ones that mean the most. So, alright guys, so thank you for sticking around and watching my video showcasing some of my favorite pieces in my Pokemon collection. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to sit here and show them all to you today. But as time progresses, as I've said, you'll get a chance to see them. So stick around and feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, share it with your friends, and stay tuned because there's a lot of Pokemon, Nintendo, and video game news that we're only just getting started covering. So as always, I'm Jason. This is Hit Play Collectibles. Sit back, relax, and just hit play.